calling all educators with a passion for teaching and a health for faith. Get ready for a transformative journey with the Educators with Oil podcast, where host Ronette Branham is dedicated to helping teachers become better through biblical strategies.
Welcome to Educators with Oil. I am your host, Ronette Branham, here to equip, inspire, and pour into educators, especially those of the faith who are walking in their purpose. This is the place where purpose meets the classroom and the oil flows. And whether you're teaching students, leading a school, or supporting those who do, you're in the right place. Here we offer wisdom, strategies, and a little anointing to help you thrive, not just survive. So wherever you are, grab your journal, your coffee, take a break, take a breath, and let's dive into the conversation. Today, I'm excited. Again, we have Dr. Akeia Keith on today, and this is an exciting conversation. All year, I'm talking at the end of every year, I'm talking about that, reflecting on the year. And then sometimes we take that reflection and we worry and we stress all about, what we've learned and what we did and what happened in the year. Did we do great? We had that where we operating in survival mode, but now it's time to recover. And so I'm excited to talk about, I'm going to use a scripture, and that scripture is going to used to be one of my favorites. Now I have quite a few. Depends on, where you are in life. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that's just something that will take us through. One second. I had that air conditioner I needed, but I don't know if it's distracting or not. So I am honored. So before she comes on, before I introduce her, I just want to say I have these journals ready to go. I have these journals ready to go. I'm going to take this banner off. I have these journals ready to go, and this is exciting. Another exciting thing, my journals. I have two. The third one I'll be ready with very soon. So if you go to Amazon.com, type in Ronette Branham, and you'll find these journals. Educators with Oil, a journal of reflection for Christian educators. So this is volume 1 and this is volume 2. And I am excited. So we can go through those, and it's going to talk about teacher reflection, give you a scripture for the week to ponder, to think about. And then you go through the week and have your teacher reflections, your personal reflections. So just say it says classroom highlights, significant moments, positive interaction and successful teaching moments, challenges and observations that happened. Then student reflections. Did you have an issue with the student trying to get through and grasp concepts or something like that? Personal reflections, personal insights about you yourself. What did you learn about yourself this day? So you have 5 for the week, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we get to rest, and then come back by that Friday we have end of the week reflections. Talk about what happened at the end of the week. Has the scripture back there for this first week in the first month. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." That's Jeremiah 29:11. I know that's 29:11, but it's just there for us to discuss. And then at the beginning of every week, we have a weekly overview. We put some goals in there. And then the third book is, so the first two are exactly the same, different scriptures, different things to think about. Then the third one is that transformational time towards the end of the year. That one is not yet in print yet, but it will be the end of this week. And so that's where we take the year, the last 4 months of the year, and we reflect and see where we saw God during the year. See what happened. Did we change any? Did we learn some things? What did we learn? How did we present ourselves to our students everywhere we go? We need to walk into spaces, commanding the spaces and presenting ourselves, releasing who we are to wherever we go. And so that is something that I am excited. I'm expecting us to come in and go to Amazon. One second. Go to Amazon and purchased this journal because this is for us to grow and to become better in who we are. Become better people. Presenting our best selves to those we come in contact with, our students, like we talked about with Dr. J, and she was talking about the amount of students that we come in contact with and how great that is, how great a reward it is, how great weight it is, how great this is a calling for us. We know we are called to do what we do. And so this is a time we take that and reflect to make sure we're presenting our best self to those students, to the parents, to our administration, to our school. We have a responsibility, and it's like we talked about. He says his yoke is easy and his burden is light. I remember the scripture now, and we take on that burden in that yoke, and it's not like a heavy yoke when you have two ox together trying to plow a field, and that yoke is heavy. It's not that. It's a great responsibility, but with God, it becomes easy. So I'm reflecting on this. I think you need to go to Amazon.com, type in Ronette Branham, and you'll see both of these. So you could get one now. So once all three come in, I'm going to figure out how to make, if you buy all three, how do I get you a discount for buying all three? But if you buy one and then 3 months later, you buy the other, they're only $17.99. So you buy one and then you got 3 months till you need the next one. Buy the next one, save up. Don't go to McDonald's twice. McDonald's is expensive. So don't do that. And again, I'm so excited about Akeia. We're going to give her a couple minutes. I just was in contact with her and she's doing so much. So she is, let me see what I have about Akeia. She is fabulous because she is we already know she's a powerhouse. We know when she came talking about ACEs to us, how that kind of transformed us, because that's what this is about, transformation. We want to be better, present our best selves, and we want to transform when we have those little hiccups in our personalities and how we carry ourselves and how we present ourselves to people. She gave us something to think about when it came to our children and the traumas that our children come with, the experiences that they come with, and then we have to still educate them. So we have to maneuver through that. And she gave us a lot to think about. So she is certified with the Council of Accountability Court Judges, where she facilitates trauma recovery and empowerment, aggression replacement, prime solution, sobriety support and education, MRT, which is Moral Reconation Therapy. And today she's going to pour into us, our educators, with tools that will bless your summer, our summer, prepare for the return as a whole and restored educator. So that is something we're going to get. She's coming, so don't worry about it. I know that when the person is not here and we're expecting that person, just know that she's actually coming. So you might want to submit questions and about that, like how do we recover? Because we're kind of in recovery in the summertime. We have emotional residue. We have emotional residue of the school year. You know how people talk about you have that residue. You just say somebody's smoking and then they leave the residue around the house, or they're smoking in the house, and you see that like has like a film over things. So they have that residue. Somebody was smoking or something like that. So we have some emotional residue left over during the summertime from the whole school year. And that, what are the signs that we are still in survival mode? We need to get out of survival mode and be restored during the summertime. Also, we're going to talk about why so many educators feel guilty when we rest. We don't have to feel guilty for resting. That doesn't make sense. It's time to rest. People say you got this cushy job, you work 10 months a year and you have 2-3 months off, but you don't have to feel guilty because of that, because of the profession that you chose. You know, we work hard during the year, and I'm just excited that we do get to rest during the summer. And then, of course, she's going to give us some practical therapist back tools to help reset our mind and our body, because we have to do that. So I'm just excited about the episode. Give me a thumbs up, Akeia, if you're ready. Okay, all right. So with that in mind, we do have Dr. Akeia Keith. I gave a nice introduction for you, Dr. Dr. Akeia. I'm gonna find this little. Okay, here you go. So yeah, I gave a nice bill, and I was talking about my the journal, our teacher's journal that it just was released on Amazon. So that's
congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. That's just exciting. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. So 2 are up, and 1 more. It should be up the end of this week. So that is the culmination. The third one is where the transformation, where we see the transformation after writing for the first 6 months of the school year, and it's different than the first 2. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
How are you today?
I'm good. I was looking forward to being here again. So I'm so thankful. I have a heart of gratitude just for this platform in general. And I'm super excited about like just how you're serving your community. I think that is very remarkable of you to always think about educators, because sometimes they are definitely overlooked for the work that you all do.
Yeah, it is. And then we this special niche that we have, we forget sometimes that, you know, to take our, like I say, educators with oil, we forget to take our oil or be aware as we're walking in the classroom that, you know, we do have oil and that we're walking in. So this is something that is like dear to me. We can't act like everybody else acts. You know, we get all stressed out, and then, oh wait, I don't have to get stressed out. You know, he said his joke is easy, and then I'm stressing out like everybody else. We don't have to do that. So that's this, and I'm like that. I'm just excited about this every single week. I'm excited. Everybody knows where I'm at, and I'm excited every single week. And then to have you back, I'm getting back. That's exciting too.
I love it. I'm glad that. So what I'm learning, and it's something that I wrote down today, just thinking. Actually, I wrote it the other day, just thinking about like the podcast and just thinking about the importance of, thank God, the school year is not literally year round, because I do feel like educators need that special space so that you all can reset. And one thing that I wrote down is I said summer isn't just a break, it's an invitation to reset emotionally, recharge mentally, and reimagine the next version of yourself as an educator. So I think like literally just taking in the moment of, okay, last school year was whatever it was, whether it was challenging, whether it was rewarding, that was that. So now it's like, okay, summertime is for me to be able to reset my mindset, reset my emotions, because you can only I can only imagine how many emotions you all have to deal with on a daily basis with all the families that you all serve. And so just taking that moment to be okay with resetting, recharging, and reimagining what type of educator you want to show up for the next season.
Yeah, I was talking. You just hit it on the head. I was talking to somebody about the last 2 years and how it was like I had to come to resolve for 1 year, and then this year it was something different where I'm like, okay, I'm working on really what I'm doing is teaching these students English, not teaching in English as I'm supposed to, but they didn't know English, so they didn't have the vocabulary. So that's basically what I had to do. I couldn't even get to, finally April, I was able to do some things. And then I'm going to do something different next year. So whenever I say this, I tell people, when I say watch my class next year, because it's a whole new, that reset. Okay, now I have the opportunity to do something different and just dive in and educate my students the best way I can and see results and know that the results are based on the standards that come with second grade and not based on teaching them English where I can't even get to the second grade standards. So what you said is a whole reset, a whole new presenting myself a new person.
And what I've taken from what you just said is like, I feel like it's a sense of empowerment when you have a moment to debrief your year before. So it's like, okay, I learned what I did that time, that it was good, but in my reset, like those moments, those special places allows creativity to reawaken. So that's why it's so important as an educator to make sure that we do reset, that we do like, what's my words that I want to make sure I use is reset, recharge, and reimagine. Like means we have to keep doing it again. And I think as an educator, it's so important to be intentional about resetting and reimagining and recharging so that you can always have that creative ability to constantly flow. Because if we're fatigued, if we're stressed out, like that creativity is going to be very low. And you have to have creativity for every student that walks into your classroom. We can't group these students together, but every student has a way to learn. And in those spaces where we're resetting, recharging, and reimagining, I believe that God gives us that insight on how to cultivate the culture in the classroom for the next meeting or for the next season.
Yeah, that is so true. Because once you understand how children learn, so you say this person may be a tactile learner, but they can listen and learn at the same time. So you will think with that creativity, well, what can I do to touch both of these, these areas, these styles of learning? But if you're stressing and you're stressing even about the last year, you can't think, you can't be creative because you have all that weight on that. I just said we have that residue left last year and we can't. So once we get to recharge, you feel
Yeah, because I feel like even as an educator, like if the educators are like you are in tune with your students, you wish and hope for the best for them. And so even like for me as a therapist, I think it's similar to an educator is that we get compassion fatigue. And so even as an educator, because you are so compassionate about serving your students and their families, you could take on compassion fatigue, which it affects your emotions. It affects your body physically if you don't know how to like reset all of that energy that you're giving out.
Yeah, that's so true. Sometimes we don't think like that. We don't think we think like, okay, we need some emotional intelligence, but what about that emotional fatigue where we are like, I'm trying to reach this student. I know this is what they need. I don't have the time to give them everything that I need. That's stressing right there.
Yeah.
With this child, I had 26 kids in one class or 27, depending on the class. And I know this child needs this from me. But I have 5 minutes for them. 5 minutes, and that's not enough. And I know it's not enough. Then I look at you should see when I'm in small group and I look up and you see students looking at me sad, waiting for their turn. You know how frustrating that is? I know I can't today. I can't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Then I have to hurry up so I can get more. And that is like a weight. And it takes a toll. It does.
Yeah. So I guess my intentions, or I guess I will say my prayers for you all this year, specifically you, is that God gives you those creative ways where you create more time and you don't run out of time. Now, what that looks like, I have no idea, but hopefully your students are like their comprehension is quicker than it used to be, so that it won't take you as much time to get the information to them with the language barrier. I don't know if it's like cards you can have on their table, or, something like that, where it's something that they can use that you created, where you technically don't have to do it, but it's self-explanatory. So I don't know. I see you smiling, so I don't know if I gave you an idea or something.
Yes, because it's hard. You're doing everything. You're like, okay, we're talking about this. Okay, let me pull this up on my screen. And when I'm doing math, you can't. Like that, the screen is the math. And so then I have to pull that down, and that's a lot. And then like when you have, just say you're in a small group and those kids are over there working, they need something. And so I'm giving I'm gonna speak at the NJEA convention this year.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Hey,
that's huge.
Yeah, but you gave me that. That's a strategy. That I'm telling the teachers to use Google Translate and bring up the pictures no, but if they have some concrete things that will take them through, even if it's for the week or for the topic of the month or whatever it is, just say you're talking about 2-digit addition, you have pictures, or you're talking about society, like the culture, or what is it called? Producers and consumers, and you have things ready for them, readily available on their desk, that you don't have to take that extra time to pull it.
Exactly. Yep.
You gave me a whole strategy.
Yep. And I have another idea for you. Maybe we could definitely talk about it offline, but just some other like idea, or more so like either games or card decks or something like that you can create to use so that you can buy back your time. But like you said, when you're doing small group, you can give another group these cards or these things and they work on that, and then it will save you time in between.
Yeah, I just we did these called make and take workshops. After school, I only made a couple, but during those we made these, it's like a big folder and it has activities for them for their language, for the English language. And so they will be like somewhere where they could just grab it and then practice. So yeah, you're on it.
Yeah, because I feel like you are like, how can I say this? You are like the example for other teachers to follow, because trust and believe, you're not the only one that has this type of barrier or challenge. So I feel like, being that you're being more exposed in the educational field, that you're the trailblazer. So it's like, create as many resources as you can that's most applicable to the community that you're serving. And you have a lot of like insight behind the scenes on what works for them. So now you can just make it a tangible resource for them to utilize.
Yeah, so I had that in November. Then I'm putting in a proposal for one more in October for our district, and hopefully they choose me. It's going to be the same thing. It's teaching ELL English language learners.
I love it. I love it.
In my school, my principal told me it was like 87% speaking students, and that's a lot. I get all of them. I mean, my class is full, but next year it's going to be different. I'm going to be general ed, but still the school is 87%. So we need strategies, because we're eds and figuring it out as we go, and that's not cool. We need
I love it. And the fact that you are in second grade, and second grade is very interactive. So there are so many different interactive tools that you can create from the experience that you've had so far, to just make it more tangible resources. And what I see is that literally the district would be using the things that you implement.
Yeah, that's my goal.
So it's not by coincidence that you're starting to like make contact with the different conferences and stuff, because you're gonna be like their leader or liaison for these type of situations.
I received that because it's the beginning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a coach, you know,
Yeah.
you gave me positive feedback for and Jessica too for my speech and one for the workshop. And
Mm-hmm.
then you still know I was still struggling, no matter how great you said I was, still
Yeah.
struggling. But now this is the time.
Yeah.
To walk into it. So I'm excited about that. So I
I'm
know
excited. Woo.
way far, but yeah, that it's just it causes me my position causes me to go into the summertime. I'm recharging, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when I say that residue, what wrong with residue? Right?
Listen, it's so funny because listen, when I took a lot of notes for this, and when you said residue, I looked down and I was like, wait a minute, I remember writing that down. But what I wrote down was emotional residue shows up as irritability, low energy, loss of motivation, or chronic fatigue. So even as an educator, like during the summertime, we have to be intentional about acknowledging it, naming it, honoring it, because we can't heal what we don't face.
Right. Yeah, frankly, I'm just tired. You know,
Mm-hmm.
no, we're more than tired. We have that emotional exhaustion that we have to deal with, and we do have to accept that it's here. And now what? You know, that's my thing. You know, that's my thing. Now what you gonna do? We got to do something about it. And the summertime is absolutely the best time. I don't work in the summer. I have some workshops and things that I have to go to this summer, but I don't work in the summer. It's exhausting, and then I don't have time to recharge because I'm working constantly. So yeah, this is
Yeah, that has to be intentional. Another thing that I wrote down was like there has to be, and this is similar, still going about or talking about the residue part, is that emotional declutter. Like literally we have to declutter. And one thing, and I'm so glad that you did provide the journal, because that's going to be important. Journaling, writing helps us declutter what's going on. And I will say, like for me, a lot of times what I say ADHD brain. Like when I lay down to go to sleep at night, I'm thinking about all of these different projects that I want to do or just things that I need to do. But I found out that when I take a moment before I go to bed and write down those things, I sleep so much better. I
yes,
sleep with ease because my brain, now I just did a brain dump. I just decluttered my brain. And it allows me to sleep so much better.
yeah, it
It's,
does. I talked about that. I was telling somebody about when you're decluttering your mind, like just say you declutter your house, right? How
mm-hmm.
pretty it looks. You're like, oh man, that's nice over there. I didn't realize how nice that corner was. And then you decluttered it. So that's think how beautifully we can think. And like
Yeah.
you said, that those ideas will come more freely. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And one thing that you talked about earlier was you were like, I don't do anything concerning school during the summer. And one of the things that like I do know some people do is that digital detox. So that means that I cut off everything that is like all the school alerts, like all that kind of stuff that's associated digitally with the school stuff. Just cut that off so that you won't even have that responsibility of thinking like, what is my classroom going to be like? And, just all of that stuff, like cut off all of your alerts, do a digital detox so that your brain can have time to reset and recharge and reimagine.
absolutely. I don't have my school email on my phone at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not on my phone. I used to take work home from. I don't take anything home from work.
Yeah.
Sitting back, going back and forth with a backpack. That's because I have stuff, and I have my iPad in there just in case I have to be out. I needed to sign out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my lunch is in there. I'm not taking work home.
Yeah.
That if you want.
And that is so important because I know so many educators. When I tell you they bring the grade book home, they bring all the papers home, they gotta, do all of this stuff. But if you always stay attached, at some point you're going to become detached.
Yeah.
And so we have to be intentional about those moments and those spaces for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a time that we have to, you said, we have to be intentional about our time off. We have to be. We just can't, I have a day off, because we can start running in the summertime. We could be running. I gotta take the kids here, I have to take the kids there. And people think, I remember my niece's grandmother, my daughter and my niece used to go visit her in the summertime, and she's one of those people who have to have an organized visit. Like, she has to spend time with you. And then she would say stuff like, just because I'm off, that means I'm the babysitter. I wasn't a teacher. We didn't think of her as a babysitter. We thought of, they want to go visit you, right? That's how we thought it. But she was like, this is my time. And we didn't take it seriously. Like, that's her time. And now I understand. No, this is my time. Because people will give you errands to run because they know you're home. Yeah.
Yep. That's important. That's definitely important. I just wanted to make sure it was something else. I guess I wanted to ask you this. Like, I wrote down, like, what are some, in reference to our emotions as educators, what are some of our ways that we could create the healing rituals that we intentionally do during the summer? So is it for you, like, do you travel during the summer? Do you get into nature? Like, what are some of the things that you do that some other educators could try to, like, implement?
Yeah, I'm a beach person. I love the beach, and I love the beaches with quiet boardwalks, not the carnival boardwalks. Like, I can walk the boardwalk, and I like to drive with the windows down. That is I don't know, that fresh air coming through. And I love those two things, because I go to the beach by myself. I don't need, as long as I got my tent. I have a tent, because that means I'm a beach person. I have my tent. I have my stuff. I put everything in my wagon, and that helps me, because it's nature. You hear the water, and then walking on the boardwalk, and also writing. That journey is something else, because you write it in your thoughts.
Yeah.
Even if it's not for anything, it's just so.
Yeah. And all of those are good. Like, they're very therapeutic. Even with the nature walking, that's great. Listening to music, drawing, coloring, because they even have adult coloring books.
Yeah.
That's therapeutic within itself. It just allows you to, like, literally separate what's going on and allow your entire body to debrief. Like, and to reset again, recharge, reimagine. Like, those things are okay to do. I think sometimes as educators, we're so used to serving other people that we forget about serving ourselves. But the truth of the matter is, we have to be first in taking care of ourselves so we can be the best version of ourselves to serve the other people.
Yeah. Did you ever see somebody trying to take care of kids and they're stressed out?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And it goes left real fast. I just talked about being irritated, frustrated, like overwhelmed, like all of that stuff. If we do not take care of ourselves first, literally, like, we're going to show up like the Angry Bird every day. Every day. Because it's like, woo, baby, you need a reset. You need to recharge. Like, it shows up on your face when you need it. It shows up in your body, in your attitude, in your actions, your behavior. Like, all of that stuff matters. And I think as educators, like, it's important for us to support each other. So if we see, like, she may need to take a break of some sort. I don't know if this weekend you need to literally make sure you leave everything at home and just go outside. Like, just intentionally go outside and do nothing about education this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially now, like, this is our last week here. I think we're the end of New Jersey, like the last ones in New Jersey going out. My grandkids, tomorrow is their last day, but we don't have students this week. But my grandkids, tomorrow's their last day, and this is hitting the end of June.
Wow.
Sometimes I think we rarely go this far. maybe the 22nd or something like that. But we rarely go this far, and so now we could take the time and think. So I'm glad. Oh, you know what? This is my season 4. This is my anniversary. So
congratulations.
You came at the perfect time for us to reimagine.
Wow.
Season 4, my 3-year anniversary was the 21st.
Wow.
This is the first episode, and yes, it's time to reimagine ourselves, what our life we want, how we want our classroom. That's that vision boarding with intention. Like,
yeah.
I'm free. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this thing? Yeah. What's going to make me happy in the classroom?
Yeah, and I think that's like, just by hearing you say that, it's almost like if as educators, if we could create a digital vision board of how we want to reimagine how we show up in the classroom, how we're just going to show up in this new school year. Because just as we as adults have to go through things, our students have to too. And the truth of the matter is they're kids. So the things that we could possibly navigate through, even though as adults it's difficult, is more difficult. It's 10 times worse for a kid to try to navigate through anything, whether their entire family is stressed out. There could be some type of separation where a parent was deployed, or there's a divorce. Like, all of those things are challenges for kids. And you can only imagine, if it's difficult for an adult to go through, it's definitely going to be difficult for a kid to go through. So just walking in that awareness, but creating an intentional vision board in regards to how do I want to show up for this new school year? Like, those are things that we could like declare, right? Over our classroom, over our thoughts, over our decisions, over our creativity, so that we can like literally lock in on these kids and create an experience for them. Because what I've understood is that when we walk into the room, whether we're a speaker, a workshop facilitator, whatever you may be, as the speaker, as the facilitator, as the group leader, you are in charge of that atmosphere. You are in charge of how people respond and what they experience and what they walk away with.
Yeah, that's some serious stuff right there. Because just if we think about that as a teacher walking into a classroom, as a principal walking into a school, as whoever, that we are setting the atmosphere for this place.
And if we wanted to add a visual, we are the thermometer in the room. So you set the temperature of what that looks like. Or what that feels like. Since we're talking about thermometer, what that feels like, right?
That's heavy. I know we say, I say it's not heavy, but it's heavy. It's light and heavy at the same time, because if you walk in your calling and you're doing it right, following the design, how you're designed, it shouldn't be so heavy. But when you think about it, that's a lot. It's a lot on your plate when you have all these lives in your hands.
Yeah, it's serious. It's serious. And I think that's why, as educators, it's important to be clear on your vision, right? The Bible says, write the vision. So it's okay. Like, it's okay to journal. It's okay to write down what you want. Like, be clear on your expectations, even though they may change. It's okay. But put it in writing, like, my students will do this or that, or I'm going to do this or this. And even with affirmations, you speak in present tense. So I am the teacher that, or, something of that nature, where you can claim what your experience would be for yourself as well as for your students.
A few years ago, when it was like our first day back, I did a little it wasn't a workshop, but it was like teachers come back to school. So my principal gave me time, and when I talked about vision boards for your classroom, vision boards for you in the classroom. This is what I want this is what my class will be like. And I did it. I had those little cork boards, it comes like maybe 4 in a pack. Put those up, and you put pictures, words, whatever it is. This is how my classroom, we're going to excel in this classroom. I'm positive. I'm big. I put a big smiley face. That's the thing, because you can getting into things and you're not smiling,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is tight. Yeah, and just how you want to present yourself. I heard somebody say that they taught their children how to give the room themselves, give the room who they are. When you
I
walk
love
in,
it.
give that room, let them experience who you are. You know, going, putting on airs or holding back. People need you, and so that's this is some
Yeah. One thing that that stood out to me is like when you were saying those affirmations, it would be so cool, like outside of like you providing the visuals, even if you could give them the affirmations to say and you all say them in Spanish as well as English. Like that would be cool because whenever we speak out loud, our cells take all of that in. So whenever, like for instance, if a parent were to yell at a child or their child, it would affect them emotionally because those harsh words are attacking to their inner cells, like their human cells. And so the more we speak things, so if you engage them in speaking the affirmations, they are pretty much participating in the atmosphere that you want for your classroom.
Yeah, they had the announcements last year. I don't think we did it this school year. The person who used to make the announcements, she would give affirmations for the students to repeat. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know why we stopped doing that. I don't know. But then I had another teacher I used to work with. She used to have a mantra for her students every day. I never did that. I never got past me greeting because I started greeting my students every single day. Each one of them, they come in, they look forward to that. They rush, and I'm like, okay, good morning, everybody, let's go. They're looking like, what? That's their moment.
Yeah, because you know what though, being that is your thing, by you like welcoming them in, you can even add affirmations in that process. You know what I mean? Like a handshake could be whatever. Like you could just make up something where they know, like, wow, we're about to say these affirmations. Like, good morning, I'm the best student. Good morning, I'm the whatever it is. You could create those you could create those affirmations, and they can say them as they're walking in the classroom.
Yeah, they could even choose which one they want to say.
Because you could have them posted outside the door if you wanted to.
Yeah, because I saw somewhere where the person was, they had the greeting. They either did a fist bump or a hug or handshake or just something. I don't know. But that will be something. Which affirmation do you want to say this morning? And next year will be easier because I won't have those 26, 27 students coming in. I'll have less than 20 probably. Last year. So it'll work.
Yeah.
And that sets the atmosphere for me as well, not just
exactly.
Exactly.
So that, because what came to me was if they see it, they say it, then they can become it. So see it, say it, become it. The more you see it, the more you say it, or the more you see it, the more you say it, the more you become it.
That's cool. Yeah.
And that's going to be intentional. Like those words are going to sit in their cells because they're repeating it.
And that's for us. That's for us. I do affirmations every morning. You can tell. I don't know if you can tell. I can tell I'm different than I was in September.
Like,
I'm different. I'm not even the same person. Affirmations. I started with Jessica Lundy's affirmations. And then I said, okay, I can make my own. I did something. I have like 4 where I'm trying to put them all together. And then I spoke them on my iPad. And then I play that stuff every single morning.
Yeah. And it's one thing that another thing that I said is and I feel like this is something that you've done is what did I write down? I said summer is sacred. It's not just for like grading papers and planning next year. Use this time to reconnect to your why and redefine what success looks like now. And then this last part is where I feel like you are. It said, I wrote down, this is a season to restore self-trust. So I feel like now you're trusting yourself more in this space, even though you've been here forever. It's just like now you're tapping into that creativity and that self-trust, that you're trusting your boundaries, you're trusting yourself, your personal intuition, and those things are thrusting you forward to produce the things that you need to produce as an educator.
Yeah, and then once you produce something, you start. It gives you like I don't know if it was called a joke. I don't know what you call it. Momentum starts to happen because, like you said, you start trusting yourself, and then you're like, I did that, so I know I could do this. If this comes to mind, this idea, then I can walk in that. I'm not afraid to walk in it because I've been doing it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all about like trusting your voice, right? Relearning your own voice, because a lot of times we allow other voices to start chattering to us and just it derails us from our purpose and from the creativity that we know we have. And so it's just like, okay, summertime is for me to just tap back into who I am and knowing that like my why is the reason that I signed that contract.
Yeah.
That's why I'm showing up as an educator, despite of, any barriers or challenges. I'm doing this because I know I'm called to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the perfect time. I don't want to say that again. I know I said it already, but this is the perfect time to think about it before we really, like the South, they're already in their summer. So before we really get into our summer, we're intentional, plan that out. I heard somebody say, before you go into the day, finish your day. Before you go into the week, finish your week. Right? Before you go into the month and a year, finish it. So that means plan what you want to do, and then you can go into it because you have a plan. You're not so this summer is like, before you go into this summer, plan it. You don't have to plan every detail, but plan, this is what I'm going to do, this is when, and I'm going to prepare for next week, next year, and the end of the summer. Maybe I'll jot down something if I think of it, but I'm not classroom, school, but I have a plan for it, my time.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about, first of all, you're going into the summer, so that's great. I feel like this is a very valuable conversation so that educators can be intentional about their summer and don't just allow the summer to pass away and then boom, you're back in school. It's like, wait a minute, what happened to my summer? And so I just commend you for just making a sacred space for yourself and being that trailblazer for other educators, because they need to know, like, it's okay to take a break. Like, I promise you're going to be okay. And if anything, you're going to be so much better going into the new school year because your body, your brain, your creativity, all of that has gotten a rest. And it's not selfish, right? It's actually, when you take time for yourself, like, you're intentionally building a legacy when you show up again.
Absolutely. Because you're rested and how is it you go to school the first day and you're like you've been going already for 10 months and no, it's a new year, you should be rested already. You shouldn't come in the school year already. That you need to do something else, or you need to learn how to rest and recharge. And what is it? What did you say? Recharge,
reset, reimagine.
Yeah. And we have to take this time. Because I have seen people come back in September and they're dreading it. And that's crazy. I don't know if crazy is the word to use, but that's one of those words.
Yeah, it's like, wow, wait a minute. This is the new year. You bring it last year's energy into the new year.
Because they didn't rest. And they didn't know how to reset and recharge. Because I'm excited about what's going to happen in my classroom. What am I going to do? It's a whole new demographic. And it's just exciting because I do have ESL students. I do have Spanish speaking students, but it's different because they know English. They just need a little support. So I'm excited. And then I'm excited for all the other teachers. I know some new teachers. I know somebody who's starting in September, brand new. She was a college professor, but this is different. Going into the class with middle schoolers. And this is a lot of transitions are happening right now. People are going into new classrooms, they were like me. I taught Spanish speaking students, now I'm teaching general ed. So Yeah, I'm excited about this year. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I look forward to hearing some updates on the experience and all of that. And I'm glad that you're going to enjoy your summer. I feel like you already have your plans together on what that's about to look like for you. And the last thing that I have wrote down was I wrote down educators should give themselves permission to make sure that we are aligned, make sure that we unburden ourselves, and that means literally pulling away from what we're called to do at that time as educators, like literally unburden yourself from that. And I put down unburden yourself before the next bell rings. So that means literally soak in this summer. Just know, like, this moment is for you as an educator. It's an award, a reward for you for the previous school year, and just for us taking this time to recharge, reset, reimagine how we want to show up for the new year. And obviously, like you mentioned before, bringing that residue definitely has to leave. And the only way that we can dismantle that is taking advantage of our summertime.
Yeah, this is good. Do you have anything coming up soon? I know you just got out of a conference.
Right. I just got out of a conference. I think I will be like, I felt like after the conference, I needed to tap in more with the parents. The parents are really struggling with just learning how to communicate and raise our kids the best way possible. And so I'll be launching something soon for parents so that I can tap into that and be some more support for them.
Oh yeah, I was talking to somebody else in our New Jersey chapter about he has something for students, and then he said for parents, and I was like, oh, that would be cool to have them both together, you know. Mm-hmm. So that is because you helping this child separate from the parent is kind of, then you have to figure it out. Well, the child is free, like somebody used to say, TDJ said I was loosing all these women, and then they had husbands at home, and they're all down. So yeah, that's that. So I like that idea. That's a good idea, because our parents are struggling. Period. That's just not even another
big time. So I definitely hold them close to my heart. So I'll be creating a space for them, just so, again, I can be some support, give them some more insight, and just be there for the family unit, because that was my approach with my conference, is that youth and parents plus their supporters, like, we're all in this together. And so I just want to make sure that I'm maximizing that space and add as much value as I can.
Oh, I like that. I'm excited for you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I don't want to keep saying, the same thing. I just know every time you come, you have to come twice a year, every year.
Hey, I'm here for it. You already know. All you have to do is reach out. I'm definitely here.
So every time you come, you add value, and it is true value. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate your time. And again, I have these books. I put the link in the comment section.
I love it.
This is amazing, these journals. And it just took some time. And then I was like, okay, I want to do a conference. I need the journals. Then I said, no, we need these before the school year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is because it's 10 months worth of journaling.
I love it.
And it's just, that's something I don't really say proud. I'm just happy to have.
You should, yeah. And educators need resources, right? It's almost like you're providing them with a survival kit.
Yeah.
And so being that it's almost like it's an educator for educators.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to give them a resource, you're working behind the scenes. So I already know it's exactly what they need. Like, you're going to get so many testimonials from educators that go through that process, that 10-month process, with the journal. So I don't know if you already have your date for your conference or what, but it's going to be phenomenal because it's definitely needed.
Yeah, I have to talk to the venue and get everything lined up, and then I have to get a team. So I probably should have got the team first, but you know how we
No,
are.
it's okay. Listen, it's a vision, right? So if God gave it to you, God's going to give you the particulars, because that's how I operated. I know for me, for my conference, the first thing that I needed to do was find the venue. And then after that, that's when I started putting all the other pieces together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the venue is like the biggest part. And then from there, you could start building, especially after you have your date.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And then I'm glad that you came again. So with that, we're just going to say, I'm going to say thank you to the viewers. And I know that, this was a value. This is a value whether you watch it today or tomorrow, whether you watch the clips or the entirety of the episode. Thank you. Thank you, Akeia. And please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with another educator, because we need some strength. Like you said, we need some resources, and especially to recharge. So until next time, walk in your anointing, teach with intention, and remember to rest is not a reward. It's your right. And thank you again. Have a blessed rest of your day.
Bye.
Subscribe to Educators with Oil podcast on your preferred platform and join Ronette on this mission to empower teachers through the wisdom of the Bible. Because when biblical strategies meet the classroom, extraordinary teaching happens.
Educators, let's shine a light on our classrooms. See you on Educators with Oil podcast, where teaching and faith unite.